Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Kristine Leahy, and my guest today is a 9-time NBA All-Star, an NBA champion, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, and an NBA Defensive Player of the Year. He's known simply as The Glove. Gary Payton, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
So on this show, we do a lot of research, and as I'm doing this research, I come across your highlights, the alley-oop passes, the steals, the drives to the basket. Do you ever just go online and watch your own highlights?
I don't like watching myself. It doesn't give me any satisfaction, and I don't know why. I mean, it was one of them things where I didn't want to watch myself. Whatever I did, I wanted to be always a surprise to me. I really started watching it one time with my youngest son. My youngest son would bring it into the room or into the thing and say, "Dad, you did this, you did that." And I'll watch it, and then I'll be like, "Ooh, I was pretty incredible sometimes." So that's it. That's all I say. And then I don't watch it anymore.
You know what else was incredible? Your trash talking. Everyone's got to know about the trash talking with you. Is it true that you once told someone that you're not going to even be in the league next year, and then you found out later that you actually hurt his feelings?
Yeah, I did. You know what? Lamar Odom was the one that I really went at like that, you know, and then I was talking about his mother, and I didn't know his mother had just passed. And I said a lot of bad things to him, and I really regretted that. And he went into the locker room, and he told his agent, and his agent, my agent was there, and they talked. And my agent came and got me out of my locker room and said that the kid, Lamar was a young kid at the time, and he was very upset, and he was very emotional. And I had to go over there, and I had to go and apologize, because if I would have knew that his mother had just passed, it would have never been that way. I said, like Kristine, I said a lot of bad things to a lot of guys, and I hurt a lot of guys' feelings, and that was just me. It wasn't personal. It was just something that to get them out of their game.
So nothing was off limits?
Nothing was off limits. I never said, I said anything that I wanted to. I talk about your mother, I talk about your father, I talk about your kids, I talk about your wives.
Kids.
Yeah, I'll say anything to get them mad. And during that time, we weren't as personal as these kids are now, because they're more close to each other. During our time, we weren't friends. You know, I wasn't friends with Karl Malone. I wasn't friends with Kobe. I wasn't friends with Michael Jordan. I wasn't friends with Scottie Pippen. So I didn't really care about them at the time. But as we got older, and then we got younger and got out of basketball, we became really, really tight friends. But during that time, it was all men for themselves during that time. But I would research guys that I think I was going to go at night, because I always had one guy that I was going to go at every night. It was always my guy. And then the other persons, they didn't go at me because the coach always told them, leave Gary alone. We don't want to get him stirred up.
Yeah, no.
But I was always going at the rookies. Every rookie that would come in there, I would have to introduce him to the NBA.
Oh, wow.
Welcome to the NBA. Woo. Welcome to the NBA.
So wait, would you research them in the other way too? Like you'd go and try to find what their weaknesses might be?
No, I didn't do that, because I had a lot of dialogue for that. Had a lot of dialogue for anything to go at them. But I just didn't want to overstep my boundaries about things that was personal.
Who was the most scared of you?
Well, Jason Kidd, who I raised, was really, really scared of me. You know, and then Steve Francis might have been like that. You know, I think Stephon Marbury, I don't know.
Stephon Marbury was scared of you?
I don't know, because when I went at guys, it was different. Kristine, you got to understand, when they were young, you don't know what they do, because they might go back and tell somebody, man, I don't want to go at GP today. I might not do that, but that's a scary moment. I was scared of John Stockton.
Wait a minute. So now that you bring up John Stockton, you said that he was the one guy you just could not get under his skin. How is that?
Because John Stockton never said anything to no one. He didn't never say nothing to me. When I go at him and I say something about him, he'll just walk like he didn't see me, like I wasn't even there. And then if I say something, anything about him, I cuss or anything, he'll just walk away. And that was a problem. When you don't give me a response, that really hurts me, because then you're not listening to me. And he was the only guy that ever did that, never listened to me. And then I figured it out. I said, I gotta stop talking to him. I just gotta play him. And I gotta beat him with what he does. Don't say nothing to him and go at him. And when I started going at him and I figured him out, they start doubling me, and they start switching players on me, and they didn't let him guard me at one point. And then I said, okay, I figured him out. I figured him out. Don't say nothing. Just go at him. And then the game became more competitive with me and him. It wasn't like I was scared of him.
Imagine what it would have been like then if other players had figured out that they just shouldn't say anything to you.
It would have been
different. Harder.
It would have been real different. It would have been harder. And then in our era, we always was like this. We didn't want our buddies to come back and say, oh, he punked you. He did that. You know, he did that. So we were into that. We didn't want that to be seen after the game, somebody calling you on your cell phone saying, oh, you just got punked. You ain't from our neighborhood. So that was my big deal, too, that if I can get under somebody's skin.
If Twitter had existed when you played, would you be out there trolling guys like Joel Embiid does?
No. You know, that's just a waste of time for me to go back. And it's about Twitter and Instagram is about putting yourself out there and making yourself bigger and getting more opportunities and work and stuff for me. That's what that's about. I don't believe
Joel Embiid needs work?
No. He gonna need work at the in a few, you know what I'm saying? So that
you don't think he's making enough millions right now?
Everybody makes a lot of millions. Kristine, I made a lot of millions, but you're gonna get to the end of your career, and then if you build a foundation, what is your foundation gonna be? It's just like I'm sitting here talking to you right now. If I wasn't Gary Payton, the Glove, the Hall of Famer, I probably wouldn't be on this show. So I built myself to do things to be like that. And with him right now, he got a great platform right now, social media. Social media, if you keep getting him to 3 and 4 and 6 million people, he's gonna always have something to do and build himself up.
So I'm guessing a lot of this kind of toughness in you and the trash talking came from your dad. He was called Mr. Mean. Right. That was on his license plate, right?
Right.
He never gave you a compliment.
Never.
And I heard he actually spanked you in high school in class.
Wasn't spanking, that's a beating. You know, you won't get spanked at high school in 11th, 12th grade. You get in there and you get knocked out.
Oh, like he spanked you. Yeah, I get it. Not a spank,
not
but
a
he
spank,
spanked
but
you.
he hit me. You know what I'm saying?
In front of your classmates.
In front of the classmates. This is before, now, Kristine, this is before you can call the police and then they'll come get you. You know, people wasn't doing that. But my father was really tough. And I think I disrespected a teacher. Her name was Miss Lyles. She was my favorite teacher. She was my math teacher. I fronted her in front of all the classmates, and then she sent me out to the office. And she called my father right after that. And so at lunchtime, my father came, and I had her class right after that. And he was in the class when we were sitting there. And it was like, you know, you think you're bigger than, you think you're an adult, you think you're the one. You think you can talk to somebody like that? This is somebody else's mother, just like you have a mom. And then he hit me. You know, and he said, I'm gonna show you how to respect somebody. And when you get that from your father, you know, you learn how to not do things that you ain't supposed to do. You know, you get embarrassed in front of somebody like that when you think that you're bigger and you think that you're growner than what you are. And I don't, and that's crazy with my kids now. I tell them all the time, you don't know much as I do because I done been through everything you're trying to go through right now. So how you gonna disrespect me when I'm trying to help you? And that's what my father installed in me. Don't be disrespectful to anyone. And that's what I did.
Except for on the court.
Except on the court. He didn't care about on the court. On the court they're trying to get my job, and I want to keep my job. If a point guard is coming after me, he wants to be the number one point guard. And he's trying, and if I'm the number one point guard, he's going after that spot. So I don't respect him. If it was my brother or my mom on the court and I played against her, and him, she's not my mom at that time. He's not my brother at that time. Afterwards, you're gonna be my mother and you're gonna be my brother. Right now, you're my enemy because I'm trying to win a basketball game just like you're trying to win a basketball game.